Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Salt Plays Sunless Sea. First, before I say anything else, I just want to say that live stream that I was talking about over the last couple of episodes went extremely well. Um, the total amount of money raised, it comes out to $8,595 for Trans Lifeline, which is, I am told, more than the past 3 years of streams combined, which is super cool. I had a great time with both of the games that I played. Again, if you want to watch either of those, you can check out the YouTube channel Roll Plus Bond. As of today, when I'm recording this, they have uploaded all of the VODs. So you should be able to go peruse all of those at your leisure. That is the 4th anniversary live stream is the one that I've participated in. And with that wonderful news, let's get on to playing this game. The first thing that I need to do is that it turns out that I do have enough Scintillac to take care of the next step in your father's bones. So, your father's bones, the next step. Do you have what your contact wants? The gracious widow. Do you have the Scintillac she requires for her tonics? And we do. It needs 1 Scintillac. We have 2. We're great. Your father's last voyage took him to Visage. Have you been to Visage? Each visager has a mask and a role. The assigner of corpses' role is to dispose of foreign cadavers. I am certain he will know where your father lies. You can hear the smile in her voice. Find the assigner and find your father. As you bid her goodbye, she coughs. You can feel the air tighten. You can sense her attention on you. One more thing. Your father owed me a debt. I have, you see, an additional interest in the disposition of his bones and his belongings. I hope you will be frank with me when you return. Hush, say nothing now. Think on it. So we did, if I remember correctly, discover Visage last game, or last episode. So we can definitely go to Visage. I'm just getting to the right page on my notebook. Let's keep going. Okay. Write that down. Okay. I think that I have... Ooh. Oh, I need to hire more crew. I was going to say, I think that I have enough money to comfortably buy a house, but I'm going to make sure I don't have anything else to do in here in the meantime. I don't really need to reduce terror. I believe I decided, I know that if I give the Alarming Scholar enough things, they will start giving me supplies, but I'm not quite ready to do that yet, if that makes sense. So I don't have... I will buy... Ooh, I am not a lot of supplies. Okay, I will buy a whole of supplies. I thought that was gonna happen. Still have enough money for the townhouse, so let's buy that townhouse, which means that we can start speaking to our child. Cross off buy a house. Purchase an elegant townhouse. A good address on Hollow Street. It won't be cheap. Zaylor's service. You have your crew cart your things from the blind helmsman to your new address. If anyone respectable calls, they'll pass as servants. That cost us 1,000 echoes, so we still have 400 left, so that's great. We now lodge in an elegant townhouse. I believe at this point I can visit my study and create a will. Visit your study, a private sanctuary. I don't have any of those things, but I do have the ability to write a will. The court of chancery, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom it may devour. Ensure it doesn't get its lion tentacles on your property when you're gone. So this will cost 200 echo, and I don't have a will. So this, as it says, will ensure that your heir retains your lodgings and any heirlooms you've accumulated, I believe. I don't remember if it's this or the scion that increases the amount of money that you keep as well. Baseborn and fowling piece. The lawyer peers at you like a vulture composed of crocodiles. Come now, she creaks. There's a few years left in you yet, but your caution does you credit. Sign here. No, ink is fine. This isn't the brass embassy. We now have a will, and it costs 100 echoes. So that's good news. Let's talk to our kid. See your child. Where is the little creature? You, your sweetheart, and your child. What will your child call you? So we can choose nothing at all. You don't want to raise the child, or you can't afford to. Turn away. Let your sweetheart raise the brat if they can. Father, mother, or captain. I do really wish that captain's flavor text didn't say your relationship will be remote or complicated or exceptional, because I would like a gender neutral parent title that doesn't come with like any sort of explicit, I mean, it's not even implication at this point that like a parent who doesn't want to be referred to as mother or father is something different from any other parent. But I'm going to pick the captain option anyways. Is this even your child, whether blood or adopted? Perhaps you're just wary of affection. In any case, here it is. Small, warm, apprehensive, affectionate creature. Treat it gently. And we have a free evening, so we might as well talk to this child. Let's start by, let's see, 3 memories of distant shores, 3 visions of the surface, 2 outlandish artifacts. Let's start with giving them a souvenir. There's a space for it on that shelf there. Danger of breakage. Your child seems powerfully inclined to play with the artifact. Perhaps it will break. Perhaps there's a jewel inside it, or a map, or a spirit. Perhaps it's edible. Perhaps you should employ a more vigilant nurse. So we're down to 0 terror, which is great news. And I believe this child will become a Z captain at 25 Z fever. So we're a significant portion of the way there. Is there anything else for me to do in port? I don't think so. So let me think really quickly about where I want to go. We still have Scintillac to get from Port Cecil. We need to go to the Mount Palmerston for the Admiralty, and we need to go to Visage for our father's bones. If I had thought about the Visage thing, I would have gotten Foxfire candles, because I believe, or a flare, is it a flare that does the thing in Visage? Doesn't matter. We will check out Visage. Visage is all the way down there, huh? I want the money that I will get from going to Mount Palmerston from the Admiralty. I'm going to go to Mount Palmerston, which I know is typically somewhere north up here. So we're going north today. I think I'll go up to Venderbite and Wither and then across. I did. I'm still testing out this decision to keep my lights on all the time. I don't know if I think it's worth it still. Have I? Yes, I have explored the other side of Hunter's Keep. Okay. Just really quickly grabbing port report from here. Hunter's Keep. A hump of dark wrath swathed in mist, like 100 other Untersee islands. But here's a grand house, windows aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight, raked gravel paths. You stand on the dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. So I'm going to reconnoiter the island. Plunging cliffs, soft green lawns, a well tucked away in a fold of the grounds. Anything else? The sea's silence. Ships rarely come here. Nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the isle. The house and the sisters. But the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing's changed, at least. Let me... I remembered last time that I don't talk to my officers very often, so I'm familiar with the sigil-ridden navigator's story. It's rough because they require supplies, and I feel like I'm always extremely worried about the amount of supplies that I have. But I did see that I have a secret apparently, which I believe you're the one who increases veils, right? Yes. So it's I don't want to spend supplies because I'm always worried that I will run out. Always worried that I will run out. I'm probably overcautious about supplies. But they're fucking expensive. So, you know how it is. Well, probably you know how it is. Okay. This way around this island. Dust, echoes, even a sepia tint to the air. These are the waters around the tomb colonies. Whatever that was didn't actually spot us, which is nice. Decrease my fear a little bit, will ya? A soft wind from the east, the impossible scent of pine. Alright, we are in the tomb colonies. Few die and fall in London. They come here instead. On deck, you can hear the sound that 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. It's something like the world's most restless concert audience, or the world's most plague-ridden cathedral. I only have 12 supplies, so taking the last 2 are up sounds like a bad decision right now. Let's start by exploring Venderbite. Here, they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. A raggedy fellow. Citizen, I'm a good seaman. I'm yours if you'll have me. Will you have me? I'm hungry. I'll work hard. He seems likely enough, if a little ragged and sorrowful. So we can either take him with us, or we can leave him here. Or we can pay his passage home. I would love to pay his passage home, but I don't know if I want to spend that many echoes. I can make that many echoes back again. I'm going to pay his passage home. An act of generosity. An enthusiastic handshake. Thank ye, Captain. All I can give ye is my blessing, poor raggedy thing, and this cloak raggedier yet, but it was good connate work once. Zafzies to ye. So we've lost a terror, that cost us 250 echoes. We did gain an outlandish artifact, but that I think was a very bad price for an outlandish artifact, but oh well, that's the game. Next we gather gossip. Who's plotting what out in the tomb colonies? Along the coast of the Untersee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. That's all to do here. And I don't have any of the things to do with the Vengeance of Jonah, so I won't bother reading about those right now. I could sell this mushroom wine. Because that is taking up space in my hold. But I also know that I want, now there's things here I could have sold. I know that I want the mushroom wine to talk to those monks on Godfall, because I never remember to have mushroom wine with me when I go by there, so I'm like loath to sell it, so I don't think I will be doing that. In that case, it's time for us to head out. Ooh, let's start by fighting these bats. I wish I had a better weapon. Oh, I need repairs, don't I? I don't need to slightly reduce terror. On we go. I want to repair my ship, but I'm worried about spending supplies. Sticky situation, as this game tends to put you in. Rather, the whole point of it, isn't it? Sticky situation after sticky ooh! Lights off, lights off, lights off, lights off. You don't see me. You don't see me. I swear to God, you do not see me. I'm invisible. 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 Hooray. Okay. I'm not actually going to turn my lights back on until it's off. Screen. Oh, and there's a snowstorm up here. That's going to be so annoying to navigate through. Maybe I can stick to the south of it. It seems like I might be able to. Alright, Wither. A chilly city beside a waste of salt. I don't have any reason to go to the House of the Question, so I won't be going over those at all. But let's check out Wither. Behind the great arch over the bay, the pale wastes stretch, white and silent as the face of the moon. From here, you might almost imagine they were snow. North of the city, the salt pools fizz with unlikely color. So we can explore the town or gather intelligence. I don't have any reason to do shore leave in Wither. Wither is a quiet, chilly... Wither is a quiet, chilly town of grey stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable. They have the irritating habit of answering a question with a question. Here and there are odd sights tucked away. We have spotted a contest of riddles. Fisherfolk, sailors, and a shady couple of likely pirates. And is that a drownie down by the water's edge? They sit round a fire at the Z's edge, passing around a bottle of something viscously black. They're wagering on riddles. Will you join them? So there's a few, like, layers of riddle difficulty. I can bet 1 echo on a riddle that I have a 54% chance of getting correct. I can bet 10 echoes on a riddle I have a 27% chance of getting correct. And I don't have enough money to bet anything else. You know, I'm willing to seek a real challenge for 10 echoes. I'm being uncautious with my money. Let's continue this. I'm sure it will be fine. Seek a real challenge for 10 echoes. Here's a sardonic woman with a pair of matched knives, a silver hoop earring, and a connate accent. She has a real riddle. It takes 10 echoes. We failed, as I thought we would. The ashes of a... Oh, sorry. Oh, I've just missed. They don't have the actual riddle. That seems fair. The ashes of a fire? She shakes her head slowly. Good try. Not good enough. So we failed. We lost 10 echo, but we did gain 10 fragments, which is kind of neat. And we will also gather intelligence. The citizens of Wither enjoy questions, so much so that they always answer a question with another question. This can make intelligence gathering frustrating. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your hat? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually, you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. Not doing shore leave, not going to the house of the question. None of these are interesting to me. Let's go down past Codex. I think I'm gonna go like just north of Codex and around, see if that gets the square to be explored. I will not go just north of Codex, because I will get caught in that storm. It'll be very annoying. I forgot about the storm while I was talking. I wonder what YouTube compression does to this storm. I'm sure it looks horrible. Alright, Codex, an Isle of Answers. Codex, a desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering, bad-tempered monkeys. The only thing we have to do here is compile a port report. No one will speak. This is a challenge. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even willing to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, the meanings unclear. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. But we did get a port report out of it, so that's something. Alright, straight across, hopefully to Mount Palmerston, ready to turn my light off at any moment, because I know the enemies up here are powerful. Ooh, Frost found. Vast and chilly, a fortress seized by questions, answers, and riddles. Oh, and a recurring nightmare. Watched. The sea is bright as milk. False stars above are black on a pitchy bed. Something... Oh, excuse me. Something is watching you. Its gaze enfolds your boat. You are transparent as glass. We can either flee the nightmare, which we have a 74% chance of succeeding at, or we can go deeper, which we have a 37% chance of succeeding at. Again, I really want to go deeper in the nightmare, but it's too much of a risk. I think for now, when I have higher hearts, perhaps I will be more willing. I'm very low level right now. So let's flee the nightmare. Turn the helm and flee across the milk-bright sea. Yikes. Hard to leave. The eye's attraction is magnetic, gravitic, compelling. You fall into a dreaming, eager reverie. To be known, but waking rescues you. For now. We failed, we gained 6 terror, we lost 1 nightmare strength, and we lost our restful night. That's great. So it would have been easier to go to Palmerston than, or Frostbound than Palmerston. That's too bad. Luckily, we can deal with that later. Also, I adore the colors that they use in Frostbound. It's so gorgeous. And as I've mentioned before, I really love all of the times that you can sail under something. Sail under something? Who knows what it wants in terms of terminology there. We have used nearly half of our fuel, which is not a good sign. Okay, Frostbound. Towers and ramps and galleries and stairs of ice, raised and spun like an architect's honey dream. No spider pristine. Nope. Just skipped a line there. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life, but a pitiable encampment squats by the dock. So we can engage an officer, the tireless mechanic, who increases fuel efficiency, which is very useful right now. She increases engine power. I will hire him. I've also had him in the past, worked through part of his story. I think he has an interesting story as well. Okay. Engage an officer, the tireless mechanic. The tireless mechanic has had enough of Frostbound. He smiles at you over his spectacles, teeth chattering. Brr, so glad to see a ship at last. Ready to offer wise... Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to keep that up. Ready to offer my services. I'm an engineer, finest you'll ever hire. Treat engines like my own children. Not that I have children. Too busy. Usually busy. Welcome aboard. Spot of rust, soon see to that. You there, help me with this spot of rust. We now have one tireless mechanic. Let me check really quickly what he does. So she does +3 iron, +6 veils, and +100 engine power, which is like not a whole ton, because we have 800 engine power. I guess an eighth again stronger is significant, but this does veils +8 and fuel efficiency +5, and I'm a little concerned about my fuel. Let's swap them for now, because I do like having higher veils. Next up, okay, I am going to take tea with the squatters at the dock. If I remember correctly, this will give me some supplies, which is good to have. Well, I guess I really have enough supplies. Let's ask the squatters about the castle. You notice they avoid looking at it directly. If you can enter, you should not. We get enthusiasts here from time to time. Yes, you might be able to enter the castle before the appointed time. You might even find something of value there, but you'd be despoiling sacred ground, my friend. It will take your stories from you. It will take your essence, yourself, and if you survive that, you'll likely anger the gods of the Sea. Yes, they are real. As real as the corridors of Frostbound are. Stay away, my friend. Stay away. We've gained 1 tale of terror. Ooh, I bet I can do something with 10 tales of terror. Let's also create a port report. What are the squatters up to? Bickering amiably. Not all are Iremi or Withern. There's the odd researcher, the occasional deranged ice sculptor, now and then a very cold, very sad rubbery man. But for the most part, an atmosphere of friendly rivalry reigns. And I'm not going to go into Frostbound right now because there's no point to. They don't have shops here. Let's head out. Again, going south to avoid that storm that's up there. Oh yeah, and I did gain a secret. So while I'm here, let's speak to him to increase our veils. Okay. This must be Void's approach. The air crackles with frosty radiations. To the north, the false stars fail in the darkness. I know that above Void's approach, there is the... Oh, great. Okay. Above Void's approach, there is the port up there, but I don't want to go through the snowstorm to get to it, so we won't be doing that right now. But in the meantime, let me take care of Recurring Nightmare Watched. I've already read this very recently. I'm going to continue to flee the nightmare. And escape. The sea churns in your wake. You pull away from the eye into the shallower waters of waking, but terror clings. We succeeded this time. We gained a little bit of terror, but we lost 1 nightmare strength. Trying to keep south of this fog. Oh, there's something up there. Is this the cannibalism island? Yes, it is. Okay. I don't need to go to the cannibalism island right now. The Kisigar Vortex. Oh, and of course I'm just going straight into a storm. Okay, well, that is what it is. The question is, when I lose the ability to go as fast, do I turn my light off? I feel like I do. I'm relatively low on terror. It'll help me stay more hidden from guys like this. And I'm concerned about how much fuel I have, as I've been saying. Don't fucking notice me, I swear to God. Oh, shit. It's not helping, that's not helping, that's not helping. You don't see me, please. Fuck. Well, at least we suffered 0 damage. That's something. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, okay, okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. This is fine. This is not bad. Not bad. We made it to Mount Palmerston. That's fine. I adore the music from Mount Palmerston so much. Let's start by going up to the crater, because why start at the city? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but the road to the Brimstone Convention is paved with cinders. Up the road. Do they admit visitors to the Brimstone Convention? Probably not, but you never know. They might sell tickets. Above the bay. Look down and see Port Palmerston like a toy and the ruins like gravel. You've come far, but the volcano's cone still rears above you. Rest a little before you go to the last half mile. And now we have found the Wistful Deviless. The road to the crater ends at a brass gate in the crater wall. Beside it stands an oddly charming little cottage. It's thrown together from pumice and basalt, but it features honeysuckle. An equally charming Deviless in a tea gown leans against the cottage wall, twirling a parasol and fanning herself. I am the guardian of this place, she remarks languidly. You may not pass, but can I offer you a cup of I've never actually tried to read this word before. Armillaria tea. So we can either have tea with the Deviless or not. Let's do it. Armillaria? That's not one of the poisonous ones, is it? You're pretty sure it's not. Terror in a tea gown? No doubt she'd be much less pleasant if you tried to break down that gate, but just now she's a courteous, soft-voiced woman in a tea gown. The tea is hot and nutty and rather pleasant. She asks about your voyages. She's desperate for news of London, of its mists, its nights, its sick, its poor, its fires. She tactfully turns aside questions about the convention, but she shares some of the secrets of the Neath. Come and see me again, she says. Next time you're here. She shrugs gracefully. Bring me a present, if you like. Neat. Let's check out Mount Palmerston. Sullen lights glow green at the jetty's edge. Behind the port buildings, the island is knee-deep in ash. There are ruins here and there, of houses destroyed by fire. Far above, the mountain's top flickers red, just for an instant. Let's start by finding our contact. You have a rendezvous in the ruined granary up on the headland, where the last generations of farmers died in the volcano's flames. Hello, I have something for you. A cowled and buzzing shape clasps your elbow. It whispers in your ear. Its breath is lava and old brass, and a queasy vibration shudders through you, where its gloved appendage has taken hold. But you have what you came for. Back aboard ship, quickly. Your vision blurs. Perhaps you are unwell. So we can return to the Admiralty. We did gain a terror, but that's fine. I could survive spending supplies, but first we will chat to the port folk about the Brimstone Convention. There was a revolution in hell, and the aristocracy of devils fled here. Here they plot in exile. A shrug and a curse. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there, and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for us all, isn't it? Let's try digging among the ruins. Perhaps the villagers left valuables behind. You could pick over their remains to see what you might find. You ghoul. We have a 60% chance of succeeding. I'm fine with that. We were fortunate. A crimson cache. In a dry well choked with ash behind a shattered farmhouse, you find 2 casks of zoop. Emergency supplies or hidden treasure. No one will ever return for them. So we did lose 2 supplies, but we did gain 2 zoop, a memory of distant shores, and 5 terror. I don't really want to do that again. I don't think there is anything here that is useful for me. I could buy supplies, but that's kind of pricey. Let's head, I'm thinking, like, due south. Let's head to Port Cecil. Do I go over one more and then down to Port Cecil? I think so, yeah. Fucking hoping that I have enough light. I'm concerned enough about having enough fuel that I am not going to... Oh, is this the one with the big old moth around it? It's not actually a port. I'm not going to keep my light on because I'm concerned enough about having enough fuel that I don't want to. You know? Let's stop briefly in this light. See if our bat has anything to tell us. The Ragged Crow. That is definitely that light, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Time to go south. If I remember correctly, there's a big fuck-off butterfly that lives up here, and I'm worried about having to fight it. Ah, more secrets. Let's take care of that. What are my stats like? 37 iron, 59 mirrors, 46 veils, 45 pages, and 31 hearts. I'm going to... I'll increase my hearts. Sure. Oh, I don't know her well enough. Okay. But I think... No, he does pages. Do I not have a way other than her to increase my hearts? I might not. Okay, then I will increase... Let's increase pages. We're very close to... Oh, I have another secret. Okay. I am approaching the limit of what I can get out of him pages-wise, but that's fine. It happens with, you know, the very first officer that you get. Restless nights. In the watches of the night, you pad softly past the hatch to the crew quarters. A man cries out softly in his sleep, desperately. Another. We can inquire about their dreams the next morning or ignore them. I'm going to choose once again to inquire about their dreams. We failed. Eyes and a face. The whole Neath lit up like a snuffer mask. There's something in the roof, Captain. It is the roof. It's watching us. Eyes and a face. Eyes and a face. You have him subdued. No discipline this time, but you require your first officer to keep an eye on him. We gained a terror, but we also gained some fragments. We are approaching Port Cecil. The principles of coral. The corpse rainbow glow from beneath the waves echoes the false stars above. Ooh, that was very close. And there's the terrifying eel, green glass and basalt, salt and silence. I think if I go this way around, those don't actually meet up. Oh, they do actually meet up. Okay. We'll just go this way around. It's fine. I love all the details of everything below the surface in this game. It's so beautiful. Alright, Port Cecil. Okay, for real, I've been saying it Cecil this whole time, but I actually say Cecil in my head, so I'm going to switch to saying Cecil. I don't know why I started saying Cecil, but it's Cecil. Gonna say Port Cecil from now on. Okay, Port Cecil. Rumpled convolutions of coral fill the water, glimmering with silvery light. The harder you look, the more you see shapes amid the chaos, almost as if they were sculpted. This one could be a crenellated castle, that one a horse's head. A neat little port huddles into the side of a coral island, prosaic imperial docks and houses tucked away in a baroque organic chaos. In that curious silvery light among the frozen chaos of coral, the scene has the unreal air of a pencil sketch, crumpled and discarded. Let's start by gathering Centilac, because we are still looking for Centilac. I believe we need 6 more Centilac to help the... I have him written down in my notes as merchant. I don't remember what his actual name is, but that guy who needs 7 of things. Gather Centilac. The best of the coral will fetch a high price in London, but walk the reefs of the principles and you risk delusion and despair. Take your crew and go carefully. Fragments of silver. Where the Z washes across the coral's edge, it glows a rich purple. Each time it washes across your boots, you expect it to leave stains. You edge along the slippery coral, picking up lumps of brighter glowing stuff here and there. And though the Z doesn't stain, eventually it begins to whisper to you, phrases so clear that you catch yourself looking over your shoulder in case your crew have spoke. They have not. They're looking around, just as you are. Between the stars, the Z says. Descend the chain. When it runs out across the coral, it sounds almost like a soft chuckle. I rest here, it tells you. I forget. So we succeeded. We gained 2 Scintillac. So we have 3 of the 7 that we're looking for. We gained 8 terror, and that is all for now. I believe let's gather a report and then do some chess. Gather intelligence. What happens here? Chess, dreams, silver light. The older inhabitants of Port Cecil... Nope. Fuck. The older inhabitants of Port Cecil carry coral incrustations like a disease, splotched with silvery light. They like to go up into the limestone heights behind the harbor to lay their heads against the pillars and towers, stare at the roof of the Neath, dream, open-eyed. Sometimes they speak of things far away, the Khanate work, the smuggler wars, the Fathom King's secrets. Perhaps it's not all invented. Now it's time for some chess. Chess is popular in the principals. The port is full of exiles, drunks, and washed-up Z-traders. They all play, often obsessively. Be careful. The chess pieces are carved from Scintillac. Here in the principals, that can be very dangerous. We have a 47% chance of succeeding, but that's fine. A loss. Your opponent shakes your hand. Time to go, she tells you, but don't worry, you'll be back. Her touch lingers. Her fingers are cold. We failed that, but that, again, is fine. We'll just do it some more. Shit. A distraction. You don't often look at chess pieces, not really look. The bishops with their hooks, the knight with its mane and teeth, the kin and the cream, white mingled with red, the roots that pin the corner of the board down to keep you safe from your opponent. You lift a paw to toy with it, touch its velvety pads. Checkmate, your opponent says. She grins. Look too closely, did we? You need to be careful with Scintillac chess sets. Her face is blank and white as the dome of a chess pawn. Get out. Get back to the ship until the waking dream of the coral clears. Let's do it one more time. One more time. Fuck! Come on. That's some bad fucking luck for 47% chance of success. Well, I guess we're done here. I'm going to buy one fuel. Oh, I don't have enough money to buy more than that. Okay. I was going to say I'm going to buy one fuel and 1 supplies. Ooh, sorry. Just hit my mic. But I, in fact, am not going to do that. And I want to go kind of south because if I remember correctly, Polythreme is somewhere around here. And I know I don't actually have enough money right now to get the We Are Clay, but it's still useful to know for sure where Polythreme is. Maybe I can get a secret out of it. I'm also not sure if I actually have enough mushroom wine for the monks, but again, yeah, we'll find out. I can still get a port report from there. Alright, here's Polythreme. Give me some fragments. Polythreme here is screaming. Taciturn clay men, evasive clothes colonies, walking like humans, couples that groan underfoot. On the hills above, a palace villa of marble, but even that writhes like buried bones in an earthquake. Let's see, what can we do? We can gather intelligence. What news from Polythreme? What lives? The king with 100 hearts rules from his palace above the city. He is never seen. He makes no treaties with other lands. But there's unrest in the air. The claymen you speak to are obedient and humble, but they speak nervously of those who are not, the maimed, the rebellious, the unfinished. Let's also carry claymen to London. Are they passengers or cargo? They're certainly the easiest passengers imaginable, unless, just unless, one turns out to be an unfinished man. They troop aboard. Each one lies down in its appointed position next to the other, nestled snugly, head by foot. We are for London, one explains to you. Slavery. Again, I need 300 echoes to get We Are Clay. But that's... well, I don't have that much money now, do I? I'm gonna keep my light on just to decrease my fear ticks a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna have 50 plus terror when I get back to London anyway. It's not that important. I'm gonna check out Godfall and then probably go like sort of this way across. I need to know how many mushroom wine I need to talk to the monks, and that is one of the things that sort of feels like cheating to me to look up. So I'm going to actually go talk to them and then write it down, even if that means I run out of supplies. Fucking hate these. That's not true. I love them. They're very cool. Oh, that's the wrong button. The mouths that move. Scared the shit out of me the first time I saw them. Okay, I have explored everything that I can here. Truth in dreams. The Neath, the cavern that holds the Untersee, is prowled by dreams. There's a story that it was once the skull of a dead god. Perhaps that would explain it. So we can either sleep deeply, dose yourself with black spore, and you're less likely to dream, which we only have an 18% chance of succeeding at, or we can listen to your dreams. What will you learn? Let's listen to our dreams. That sounds not terrifying at all. You know. Mirror-faceted pillars rise around you like trees in a forest, more so because each glows with a shifting green light. The Z laps at the base of the pillars. A voice from above cries out in 7 languages, and you understand each one. Once was this the face of Iram. It will be taken from us. We've gained 1 terror and 1 memory of distant shores. Have I actually explored, gotten the name of this abyss? Yes, I have. Okay. Godfall. Sometimes, just occasionally, bits of the roof fall off. Be glad you weren't here when this one did. I do need more mushroom wine. Okay, I need 2 more mushroom wine. Okay. Alright. Let's still do of shouting, though. That still gives me a port report, right? Yep. Of shouting. Let them tell you about past and present events in the monastery. Tales. They are eager to talk about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, was one of the citadels of the starved men who dwell in the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to become the monks' progenitors. How does that work, you wonder, with their vow of celibacy? They become vague and are suddenly eager to speak of the details of passing shipping. That's the only thing to do here. They don't have any shops. Let's head out. And again, I'm going like diagonally this sort of way. I don't have space for the salt lions, so I will not be heading over that way. It's probably most efficient in terms of like number of ports visited to go straight up and down, but that's fine. I'm a little bit more concerned about, the fuck is, ooh, Station 3. I'm a little bit more concerned about my total amount of fuel and supplies than I am about visiting the maximum number of ports. I'll take care of this secret as soon as I get into port. I'm so close it seems silly to not just, or to pause now only to unpause and pause again. But I will start with it. Let's talk to you for one of the very last secrets that I can, or very last pages that I can get from you. Alright, back to the story. Station 3. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. Machinery hums behind steel walls. Up the hill, there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship is the only one in the harbor. Let's start by training your telescope on shore. Might be best to get a look from a distance. Church or something else. You stand on the high point of your ship and look to shore. There is a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol you recognize. Next, we will try the gate. The only way past the walls is an unimposing but sturdy-looking gate of triple-barred silvery metal. A sign beside it reads, "Deliveries. No way in. The metal is steel-hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's guns to bear, but no." And we have to, okay, I thought that was the case. We have to come back with a soothe and copper long box. Next, let's search for signs of other visitors. It never hurts to know what you're up against. We have a 70% chance of succeeding, which is pretty good. A shattered box. A box lays broken on the ground at one of the far... Still haven't figured out how to say this word. Quays. No one has cleared away the debris. A torn label reading "Soothe and Coo." Curved shards of apothecary bottles. A curious oval of silvered metal the size of a cameo brooch. We succeeded. We gained 10 fragments. That's all for now. That's everything to do in this port. Let's head out. Continue diagonally. Oh, there's a guy. Please do not notice me, guy. Cool, the guy did not notice me. Creeping tendrils of fungus, Z-weed, unnameable flora. We enter the snares. Oh, there's a shark over there. I was gonna go the other way around this, but I pressed the wrong button. So now I'm not gonna go the other way around it. That was risky. Pigmote Isle. Ooh, Pigmote Isle is fun, but I don't think I have... I would rather do some Pigmote Isle stuff than be like, oh, I'll save it to another video, because at this point, if I keep like saving things that are kind of long to their other videos, I will never get anything done in this game. So this is just gonna be a long video, which is fine, I guess. Hello, jellyfish. Jellyfish, I'm invisible. You don't see me. You don't attack me. Maybe I don't remember if here I get supplies and fuel or not. Well, we'll play through it and see what happens. I don't know which side I'm going to support, but let's get settled in for quite a bit of reading. Actually, I'm going to pause the recording and get myself some water. And I'm back. Well, if you didn't go pause and get some water while I was doing that, I'm going to say you should pause this and get some water, because water is tasty and good. Pigmoat Isle. 2 houses, both alike in dignity, on a lonely desert beach. There is no habitation in sight, no market, only an old rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp black earth from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite. Tall fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Forgot to put my blanket back on when I sat down. Some very quick blanket rustling noises. Alright. Disembark. See what awaits you. War? As you step onto the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shooting. You can see, far off in the distance, smoke rising from beyond the hill, and dots of fire flecking the horizon. 2 tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, as if awaiting your approach. A literary interlude. The following is an extract from the popular Diary of a Sea Captain, from London to Irem and what we did there before we arrived, washed ashore on Mutton Island, and subsequently serialized in the Unexpurgated Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. The Tale of Pigmoat Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. All right, Chapter 1, The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Rattus Faber, wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first, and bowed. "Welcome, Captain, to Rat Star Island. I am Edgar, second chief engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The rat stepped back at precisely the same moment. With what appeared to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declamatory chirp. "Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Caviar. I am Lady Augusta Devereux Swinch of the Blackwater Swinches, seneschal to our King Graysnaw, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The 2 stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. The 2 remarkable rodents sat, squatted, both seeking my support. I knew I had to choose carefully. I spoke to the chief engineer. His eyes had a wave-cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. A rat in the making. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. "We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London, its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat." The chief engineer nodded towards the distant hill. "One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our own, to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavi saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them?" I spoke to the seneschal. How did an armored guinea pig manage to look regal? A knight out of habit. The seneschal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. "Graysnaw the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months had sojourned on the sea, conquered this land, and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance. Assured shall be our glories and their fall, when Our Lady's eye restored be to our hall. The seneschal composed herself, then added, We saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Caveat, but the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? Sorry. Water time, I suppose. I had heard more than enough. I was ready to make my choice. Well, I'm a communist, so obviously I'm going to side with the chief engineer. I believe if I attempt to broker a peace, nothing will happen. But let's try it out anyways. Oh wait, there's a text up here I should read. Chapter 2, Alike in Dignity. As you can well imagine, I faced quite a dilemma. Their red eyes stared up at me, waiting for my choice. So, as I said, I'm gonna try to broker the peace, but I don't think that does anything. Surely, their commonalities were more numerous than their differences. Perhaps I could help them get along. My words helped them reach agreement. The chief engineer and the seneschal shared a look, then regarded me with scornful amusement. Yes, smirked the chief engineer, you're obviously much cleverer than us. Oh, much, murmured the seneschal. You clearly know us much better than we know ourselves. Apparently, idealism would not help here. So instead, I will side with the chief engineer. He seemed grumpy but honest. Also, I knew all too well what rat-made weapons can do. A friend to rats. I extended a finger to the chief engineer, who shook it grimly. The seneschal hissed and chattered her teeth in disgust, but kept her distance. You've made the right choice, said the chief engineer. Let me show you around. We've gained a fuel and a supplies, and we have recorded that we are helping the rats. All right. Chapter 3, A Rat in the Making. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of what can only be termed checkpoints, as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringers and saluted the chief engineer. Soon we come upon a small colony, smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats, perhaps only 50 ratus faber altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light, beaming out from a stump of chickenwood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow, and was almost too bright to look at. By its light, I could see several raised mounds of earth, suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water, an albino rat mending nets, while others stabbed sharpened sticks into the waves. Further inland was a barracks, where a sergeant barked drills at a small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. Welcome to Marinia, said the chief engineer, voice warm with pride. It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we've rousted the cabbies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council. With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. So here's some options. I'm just going to take them in order. I visited the rats' barracks. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were the few rats around her really all she had to launch an attack? We were fighting impressive odds. I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chickenwood jerky to gnaw on. There's more of us below ground, she explained, but not enough. The cabbies are bigger and there's more of them. We're better with weapons, but haven't got the stuff to make 'em with. Most of us came here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur on our backs. We can fish, and we nibble the chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cabbies came with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raid 'em sometimes, but there's so few of us, and we can never hold on to territory gained for long. but that's of no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to build our republic, and the rat star, she added thoughtfully after a moment. Of course, we want that too. Next up, I took a closer look at the rat star. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, twitching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. Blue as a sapphire, but endlessly more brilliant. It's not a star, of course, not really, but try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me working too hard to convince them, says this is better for morale, but just look at it, look! She offered me her goggles. I managed to work them over just enough of one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was studying. It was scintillac, but unlike any I'd seen before. Blue as a sapphire, but more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its color was tremendously soothing. The chief science officer tittered with pleasure as I handed her goggles back. Those of us who've been to the Cabby side of the island and lived to tell of it say that there's plenty of glow there. Plenty of bright in the water all around, but nothing like this. We took this from the island's center, Mount Ararat. Only it's not a mountain, of course, any more than this is a star. It's hollow, there's sweet water inside, and coral crawling all up the walls of it, but nothing that glows save this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us. Next up, I headed down the beach. Who ever heard of a rat mending a net? Where the green billows played. An albino rat smiled up at me from his mending work, looking dainty and a little shy. Chicken wood floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed, so we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We come up with all sorts of things. Blind fish, crabs, sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle, but the fishing would never be so good without the rat star. He beamed. I think it only draws good fish and keeps the scary ones at bay. I know the chief science officer doesn't believe it, but I do. That light is our livelihood. I finished my exploration. The bells of the war council rang. I was summoned. Chapter 4. A Vital Enterprise. The chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. So you're going to help us beat the Cabbies, he said, a hard edge to his voice, but how exactly? We can offer strategic assistance, we can be determined to take the lead, or we can have nothing to offer but advice. 69, nice. Let's offer strategic assistance. We engineered a distraction that the LBs could use to plunder the Cabby ship and turn the tide in their favor. Weighed and found wanting. Shit, we must have failed. Yep. We pretended to take a rat hostage and approached the Cabbies as with a gift, demanding an audience with the seneschal. A battalion encircled us almost immediately. Their armor and helmets clinked as they purred and chattered amongst themselves. Well, well, said the seneschal, regarding me with what I supposed to be a smile. A reversal of fortune? How unlikely. I suppose you will have no trouble slitting the savage's throat on our behalf. My fraction of a moment's hesitation was all the confirmation the seneschal needed. See to the ship, she snapped, and half the party scurried to intercept the rat skulking aboard it, screaming war cries that curdled my blood. As for you, said the seneschal sweetly, thank you very kindly for your gift. I assure you it is most graciously received. More swiftly than I would have thought possible, the seneschal leapt onto the rat I had held bound and sank her incisors into its chest. I escaped with my life, but found myself unable to forget how the rat screamed and writhed while the seneschal raised her face to me again, his liver gleaming obscenely in her mouth. We failed and we gained 5 terror. That's a lot of terror. I'm concerned, but I can't... I can't get out of this. Well, I guess I can just press X, but I don't want to. I'm going to try again to offer strategic assistance. A questing beast. Oh, fuck yes. Okay, good. A questing beach. I dressed up one of me sailors in a mess of shabby cloth smeared with prisoner's honey, and instructed him to roll around in the black earth of the island. Soon we had a glorious mud monster to send thrashing through the chicken woods toward the cabbies. The distraction worked perfectly. The cabbies diverted their force towards our makeshift beast, leaving the rats with very little opposition as they plundered the grounded ship. They returned triumphant, as did my sailor, laughing, having led the cabbies a merry chase. Within a few hours, the rats' diligence had resulted in the building of a remarkable cache of weapons, with which they successfully routed their enemy. The rats, ever egalitarian, shared their spoils in addition to the promised food and fuel. So we succeeded. We got Hail Marina. Pigmote Isle's might is now 4, its civilization is 5, and its spirit is 3. We also got 4 bales of parabola lemon, a scintillac, and 10 fuel. That's very good, but we still don't have very many supplies, so it's not like incredibly helpful. Chapter 5. A Nation is Born. The house of Cabby had fallen. Marinia was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. Then, I'm going to invite one of the Ratus Faber to join us. After all, what's a ship without a few rats? Welcome aboard. The chief engineer couldn't leave his colony, but he relayed my request to his people. The albino rat I saw mending nets shyly stepped forward. I'm good at fixing things, he said earnestly, and I'd like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before accompanying him on board. So we have an albino tinkerer, but we did lose 1 civilization. Oh, I can do more of these. Okay. Well, since we can, let's intercede on behalf of the cabbies. I don't remember what happens here, but I might as well try it. They were crushed. Sure. They were crushed, defeated, and I could see their spirits broken without the light of the rat star to guide them. They needed an advocate. The satisfaction of victory. I appealed to the chief engineer's moral fortitude and sense of fair play. Perhaps the cabbies suffered the loss of the light from the terrible center. Nope. Perhaps the cabbies suffered the loss of the light from the center of the island. Perhaps they were only trying to get it back, not steal it from the rats. The chief engineer looked troubled, but shook his head. You fought 1 battle, Captain, he said gravely. We've fought hundreds against them. They're monsters, pure and simple, and the sooner we're rid of them, the better. Rid of them? I saw by the light of the scintillac a dozen rats using the steam pinnace's supplies to build something that looked remarkably like a sausage machine. We could not forge a peace between the rats and the cabbies. And finally, the wide, dark Z beckoned. We had eaten our fill, and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. Too many items. What do I want to get rid of? I don't want to get rid of fuel, but it seems like fuel is the most easily obtainable of all of these. So I am going to get rid of 5 fuel. Well, we have a port report now. Okay, sorry. The wide, dark Z beckoned. We had eaten our fill, and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. I definitely just read that, but I didn't read the end. There, you finish your diary entry, and the final dregs of the rat's surprisingly good wine. They line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new republic. So we have a port report. Our hunger quality is gone, and a new nation has been founded. Interesting. I'm going to... Okay, let's read the rest of this. Hail Marinia. The Neath's most adorable nation scurries around your legs. Scintillac harvesters drag heavy bags of the island's bounty to their silos. Industrious rodents work hard on towering edifices, some of them almost neck high. London will never believe a bloody word of this. We can't do either of these. We could attempt to steal the rat star, but we have a very low risk or low chance of succeeding. Let's visit the Cavi ghetto. Marinia has not been kind to its enemies. The Cavi ghetto. The survivors of the war have been sent to this swamp where they ponder their failure. Rat guards patrol from atop a spiked wall, passing the time by pelting the mud-slicked guinea pigs with sharp rocks. Interesting. Okay, so we can smuggle food into the ghetto. The Cavies have little to offer except their gratitude. Success will improve Pigmoat Isle's spirit. I don't... I would love to, but 2 supplies is bad. We can attempt to broker a union. Marinia will be stronger if its 2 houses work together, which we only have a 30% chance of succeeding at. Or we can assist the Cavi revolution. Give us your cunning. We will help you steal the lady's eye. Their loss will crush their resolve. This guarantees us the rat star, but will cost 5 veils. My hold is full. I definitely don't want to get the rat star right now. And I don't really want to, install the Cavies as in charge of this place. I'm more into the rats being in charge. Let's try to broker a union. I don't think I'll lose 3 spirit immediately, but let's see. Yikes. The long road. You attempt to drum up sympathy for the Cavies amongst the rats, but the wounds of recent battles are still too fresh. Within the muddy ghetto itself, the ever louder whispers of revolution drown out any hope for peace. So we lost 1 spirit, and I don't think there's anything else that we can do. So I'm going to have an even lower chance of succeeding at that next time. No shops. Sure, we'll assign this tinkerer for 2 more veils, because 2 more veils is good to have. And I can keep my lights on the whole way home. Let's run down to Gator's Morn. I know if I go across from there to Demo Island that I can get supplies, so it won't be too bad to make this detour. Gator's Morn. Step carefully. Let's gather intelligence. I've already read everything that there is to do at Gator's Morn a couple of times, so I'm just gonna gather intelligence. He lost a crew. Failed. That's bad. Again, I'm pretty sure that this option increases terror, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just gonna go across to Demo Island. I'll take a slightly more north route, just to increase the number of explored squares. I would rather not get in a fight with you, thanks. Hopefully I'm far enough away that that doesn't notice me. Okay, good. Stalagmites loom in the distance like the cranes of wolf. Nope. Okay. Here the wilder airs mingle with the airs of the near reaches. Demo's gate, named for a navigator lost above. How did his bones come below? Oh, don't notice me, don't notice me, don't notice me. Okay. How does it always seem to notice me when I'm, like, behind? Come on. Well, I didn't think I would succeed at running away there, but I did. Hooray. Demo Island. Once again, I have read all of these things a couple of times, so let's just start out with tea with the factor. The poor fellow needs the company, and he can spare an hour away from his schedule. An interlude. You sit on the veranda of the factor's house, looking out over the fungal jungle, an expanse of green and sour gold. The air is thick with hovering spores. The scones are stale. Even the tea has a hint of mildew, but the factor is good company. He shares odd stories about the Gant Pole where monsters swarm, about the seductions of the principles of coral, the infestation at Featherhaven. He also has a load of Belega's frond carted aboard your ship. He waves away your thanks. I have eaten so much of the stuff, I fear that I might be transformed entirely into fungus. He leans confidentially toward you. It happens, you know. But one does have to eat rather a lot of it first. So we lost 2 terror, gained 9 fragments, and 1 supplies. And we'll pile a port report while we're here. Oh, motherfucker. The Cumane Canal only gives me like 5 echoes, so I am not going to go there. Seems like a little bit of a waste of time. Just keep heading north. Avoid this megalops, hopefully. Little ships throng the waters here. The crew grow wistful. Oh, my terror is really high. They swap old stories of sunlit sea. We draw near to the Cumane Canal, the way to the surface. Fuck. Pale visitors. The cry goes up. Drownies in the water. The pale faces of the drowned dead bob up like lamps. They're singing. We can either drown out the song with the roar of the engines. Drownies are drawn to fear like pickpockets to crowds. Stoke the engines as hot as they'll go. It will use fuel and may damage the ship, but you'll drown out their wretched song. Or ignore it as best you can. Stop your ears, set to work. You can't spare the fuel. We can spare the fuel. So let's drown out their song with the roar of the engines. Steel and fire, your engines thunder. The drownies circle, but the poisonous sweetness of their song is almost lost in the den. At last, they tire and sink below, waving as they go. We lost 1 terror, but we also lost a fuel and 2 hull. I am not going to stop at Mutton Island. I'm just gonna go back into London. very careful not to go over that abyss. I'm also not going to do that Restless Nights thing right now. I will take care of that shortly when I'm not about to die from terror. On the surface, the sun still warms the earth, or so one assumes. Alright, back in London. The Revenue Men. Her Enduring Majesty's Customs Service works closely with both the Ministry of Public Decency and the Masters of the Bazaar. Today, they have selected you for an inspection. Don't cheek them. We can let them do their worst because we don't have anything to hide. Vexed and frustrated, they roam your deck like wolves. They tear through your belongings like termites. At last, they leave. And our terror is back down to 50. And we have some messages. Something has changed. Someone wants to sign on. We have another day, another free evening. And the Rose Market. Okay. I do not have 7th intellect for this man. Let's check out this Restless Nights. We will inquire about their dreams the next morning. Eyes and a face. We succeeded. I should have done that before we got in so that I didn't just immediately give myself 60 terror. Oh well. I've already read this a couple of times. We did get a secret out of that, which is something. Let's get the very last, not quite the very last pages that we can out of this surgeon. Very close to the very last pages. And let's... Where do... there it goes. Deliver clay men. This is where they wanted to be, or at least where they're supposed to be. Ashore, one by one, they rise uncomplainingly, with no trace of stiffness or discomfort from the long voyage. The deck resounds beneath their heavy tread. A shroom yard manager waits on dock, tapping her foot. About time, she says. Here's your payment. Come along now, you. There's a good construct. We got 120 echo for that, and we don't have any more clay men. A new recruit who awaits your attention. We can get the haunted doctor or the genial magician. The only one we don't have is a cook. Oh. The only one we don't have is a cook, neither of which these people are. But this one increases veils and mirrors, which is something. Oh, but he's an engineer. We will... I'm gonna engage a sailor. Yeah. Next up, let's have some time with your family. Your sweetheart comes and goes. They have their own complicated business, but they always return to your shared home and your child. Let's, give them a souvenir. There's space for it on that shelf there. We gained 7 more sea fever. Roser's Wharf still doesn't have anything. He still wants 7 and we only have 4. I don't believe there's anything that I can do in the study. I guess... Yeah, okay. Let's take a rest. Does it cost 100 echoes to rest? let's try it. It does cost 100 echoes to rest. Okay. Well, a pleasant interlude, a very expensive interlude. Sleep early, rise late. Take the air in Tyrant's Gardens. Take a coffee at Caligula's Coffee House. Take advantage of a Z Captain's reputation. You could get used to this. But we do get some restful nights, which is something, I suppose. That was really expensive. I should have taken it at face value when it said that it needed 100 echoes to happen. Alright, well, next let's sell some things. Yes, let's sell this prisoner's honey and this centilac and this zoop and this parabola linen. Not the centilac, but let's sell the zoop and the prisoner's honey and the spider silk and the parabola linen. Okay. And while I'm here, because I can, I might as well buy 2 more mushroom wine. So that I definitely have enough. Okay. Then we will speak to the dark spectacled admiral. Pass on strategic information. The admiral sits up, although he steeples his fingers and pretends calm. Invisible eyes. He's hard to read with those glasses, but he reads the summary intently. Satisfactory, he says at last. Eminently satisfactory, actually. Good work. Take this for your trouble. The clerk will see you paid. So you got 150 echoes from that. And next up, let's submit our port reports. Again, I don't like this one we've already read. This one we've already read. This one we've already read. I'm not really gonna read any of these. They're just little sentences, you know. Ooh, okay, this one's a little bit longer. Station 3. Excuse me, let me just call a colleague in. This is my colleague, Mr. Villain, of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, this good captain's report here. If you would care to... Yes, the fire is already lit. Let us... There we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here is your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. Pigmote Isle, Polythreme, Frostfound, Codex as ever, Demo Island as ever. Ask if there's anything in particular they need. The Admiral will see you now. Ask if there's anything in particular he needs. Well, if I can be assured of your discretion, this port, speak to our agent here and return. We'll see that you're rewarded. Retrieve strategic information from Codex, far north of London. Okay. I don't think there's anything else for me to do. Actually, I should get some repairs. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to go to the Admiralty Yards, but at this point it's not worth it, is it? Fuck. Oh well. I will buy a whole thing of supplies. I have so much fuel. I wish I had more space. How much do ships cost? Uh, 3,000 echoes. That's a lot. Okay. Well, I don't have anything else to do except go out on another trip. So thank you for listening to this episode of Salt Play Sunless Sea. I will see you shortly. Goodbye.